And welcome into another bi-weekly web chat with the Mayor, Pat Sobeski, with us to take us through the council agenda for the upcoming meeting this Thursday night, which of course you can see live on Rogers TV. And one of the items, Pat, on the agenda, finally we are through the budget process. It looks like we're going to finish the deal on Thursday night.
A good word, finally. The staff started working on the budget back in October. Council first saw the initial draft, I believe, in the early February. We've gone through all the departments. Council now has taken a look at it. Staff has made further recommendations to cut. So what will happen at the council meeting on Thursday is there'll be some, I think, $383,000 in operating cuts in the budget. The budget will also indicate that there was a surplus last year of some $945,000, which came about because of more accounting, trying to guesstimate on some of these reserve accounts and actuarial accounts, and so where that reserve money or where the surplus, and it gets budgeted off into reserve accounts. And so the final impact is, if the budget is approved as presented and there's no more other amendments that could come from the floor, residents would be looking with this so-called average house, a total increase, my numbers, of about 2.2%, and that would include city, county, and the educational tax.
You said there's 300 and change worth of cuts. Any cuts to service within those changes for this year?
There might have been small amounts. I think there was some salary cuts of totaling some what's 25 and 40, $60,000 in salary cuts. There was money taken out of development charges to put towards some projects because their development charge budget's in pretty good shape, and we don't have a lot of capital budgets coming up in the next couple years. But no, there was no. I don't think
in the day-to-day stuff.
I don't think there was in the day-to-day stuff, because again, we ended up with this 2% increase in budget, and I think that provides us with what we want to do. We spend about $3 million a year on roads. That's in there. So no, there was no drastic cuts in operating.
Looks like we're ready to roll, Pat, with some more restoration work this year on City Hall. That's on the agenda. And what will be happening this year?
This is a project that was budgeted $300,000 in 2009, 2010, 2011. Staff finally decided, rather than tendering it out over 3 years, it was better just to do all the projects in 1 year. And so the tenders have gone out. It's basically there'll be a new slate roof goes on. There's window improvements, just general improvements to the outside exterior. And so the budgeted amount is $900,000. I believe the tenders are coming. The lowest tender is around $720,000. So we're under budget. But again, there's some repointing work that might have to be done. But that will come under that will come back to council as a separate budget item again. So it's a project that's been on the books for 3 years that finally will happen this year.
Well, certainly the county building looks great in some of the brick pointing and things that were done there. So we hope for the same for City Hall then.
Well, we have the old post office. It's a grand building that is featured in so many photographs. Mm-hmm. The county building, I think, is, I refer to it as County General because I think it's reflective of 1930 architecture. So it's pretty boring compared to the architecture, the features that we have at our City Hall.
Good to hear. Now, Cedar Creek water quality study, spit that out now, that is approved for this year. We're going to be doing some initial work and trying to clean up some of the mess in there. I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that have been found in that water.
Yeah, it goes back to, I think, 2007. There was a water quality study that was done. And, I mean, Cedar Creek, the water comes from the Sweeburg, starts in the Sweeburg swamps where it's pure. And by the time it works its way into Southside Park, through the pond, down the creek, and joins up with the Thames, it's the dirtiest water in the Upper Thames watershed. And so you go down, you look at the pond, and you see it's not a pretty sight. It's not blue water. So the pond is due for dredging, but it's a bigger issue than that because you've got to have water flow. And so we'll be taking a look at and working in partnership with the Upper Thames as to how we can improve the dam, improve the flow so that water moves through quicker, and trying to address some of those issues as to what causes the pollution that takes place there. But a lot of it's related to the pond and the ducks and the geese that are there too. So it's a project that's going to take probably about 5 years to complete. May involve some storm management ponds in the park. But what will be coming before council is, this was reviewed by the Environmental Advisory Committee. They've looked at it and they've endorsed that the city proceed with this project.
Okay, we'll look forward to that and more on Thursday night.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Okay, thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Adam.